Welcome back, everybody, to event number 2 of No Time Kings at the Zamak Dragway. Tonight is Friday night event, which means racing for fun and grudging. Warming up the cars, testing for the big Saturday night points race. So tonight we've got quite a lineup of guys that have called each other out, and we're going to do some grudge racing. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go in the pail, pull out a chip, and just, if it says left or right, it'll just tell you which lane you're going to get. Doesn't matter what the number is. So whoever it was that called somebody else out, the person who got called out will get the first chip draw to determine the lane. So with that all said, let's get to it. First up, we've got Lou Sir in the red Chevette, calling out the other Chevette in the competition, driven by Sloppy Bear. So we'll pull a chip and see which Sloppy Bear gets the left lane. Means Lou Sir in the right. And as always, that left lane is the closer one to the camera, and the right lane is the farther one where the red car is. So let's see which Chevelle brought the most to this event. He's got it dialed in right. Lou Sir in the right lane walks away with that one. Next up, we've got Abnormal Speed Racing in that Pro Mod Camaro, taking on Steve, Chase Family Racing in the Mustang. Going into the chips. Looks like it's going to be left lane for Steve of Chase Family Racing. Place your bets. Who's going to get down the lane first? Chase Family Racing in the left lane runs away with that one by 2 car lengths. How many of you guys remember Mopar Mike? He had an early exit from the first event. It's a local boy who came in to fill in for some of the spots, but then we got a late entry that came in, and he unfortunately lost his spot in the chip draw. So he was spectating up till now, but Puff decided to call him out and get him back on the track. So let's pull a chip and see who's going in which lane. Mopar Mike will be in the right lane. Mopar Mike's driving that beautiful 69 Dodge Charger 500, but it is a stock car. Doesn't mean it's stock under the hood, but it is basically a stock Hot Wheels taking on a modified Puff's beautiful 49 Merc. Mopar Mike pulls off the win, looking for some revenge for getting kicked out of the event. Yeah, those local boys always have a little advantage. Home track, they know the track, they got the tune, but knowing Puff, he collected some good data on that run, and he'll be ready for Saturday night. And that brings us to our next call out, the Wizard of Oz. He's the great and mighty Oz. He's taking on Arlo. Takes a big pair to do that, so kudos to Wizard of Oz for calling out the number 1 Arlo. Let's see what lane Arlo's going to be in. Left lane. Now the track officials learn quickly that anytime Arlo's running, they need to watch their clocks. Even though this is a no-time event, they still check the clocks for track records, and Arlo's broken one already, so we'll be checking in after this run. Good luck to both of you. Good race. Good race. He did not get blown out, but Arlo takes the win in the left lane. In this race, we've got Dutch Vandership calling out Elevation Diecast Racing. Elevation drew the right lane. We got Dutch in this old nitty-gritty kitty in the left, taking on Elevation in the Holden Monaro, not a GPO. Good close race. Looks like Dutch Vandershift with the win in the left lane. Well done, sir. If you notice, a couple of these guys are getting right back in line after they make their run. A couple have had more than one call out, or they called out somebody else after getting a win. So next up, we've got Lone Wolf Racing taking on Nitro Z in the orange car. Nitro Z drew the left lane. Does his little Honda Turbo have enough to take on that Hemi Dodge Dart? Let's find out in a minute. Hemi Dodge Dart in the right lane by a couple car lengths. Lone Wolf Racing with the win in that last one. Brings us up to J-Bo, Dog Squad Racing in the blue and yellow, taking on Ragin' Ricky in that beautiful black Chevelle. Ragin' Ricky drew the right lane with that roots blown Chevelle. Does he have enough to take on this Colt Charger powered Pro Mod? Thunderer. Let's find out. Plenty of power. Right lane runs away with that one. Once again, I think Dog Squab is holding back a little bit, waiting for Saturday night. Last event, he got quite a few points out of that. And that brings us up to Zizzer Prime, or Rookie of the Year, as Dad from Elevation likes to call him, driving the Pro Mod Mustang, and he called out Dad from Elevation. So let's grab a chip and see what lane Elevation gets. Looks like he's in the right lane. I guess the big question is, who's going to be calling who Daddy after this race? Let's find out. Close race, but Zizzer runs away at the end. I wonder if they bet any you daddies on that one. Lou Sir in the Chevette is back at it again, calling out Wizard of Oz, who's also running for the second time tonight. Wizard of Oz from Kansas draws the right lane. That puts Lou Sir in the left lane, which actually gives him an advantage because now he'll have data from both lanes for the Saturday night points race. Wizard of Oz. In this race, we've got Joa Tang in the green Nova, and he called out Abby Normal with an extra car that Abby brought called Bad Alibi, Charger SRT. He's not in the points race, but he is here to run some grudges and testing, so Joa Tang took him up on that. Bad Alibi draws the left lane. Joa Tang in the right. Joa's also got a couple more races coming up. He called out 3 different guys, so see if he gets some data from the other lanes in the next upcoming races. Close race. Looks like he did. He got drove around by Bad Alibi. Joa was out front most of the race, but the old Dodge Charger SRT went right around him right at the end. Must be one of those cases of careful what you ask for. And Joa gets right back in line to take on Dutch Clutch Racing next. But in the meantime, we got Steve from Chase Family Racing calling out one of the local boys. There were 5 local stock eliminator guys that wanted to have a shot to move up and race some of these big guys. So even though they're in stock cars, they want a taste of what this Outlaw No Time event is all about. So he did get called out. Let's see if he can hang. Pony Boy in the white Mustang drew the right lane. Didn't do himself any favors, considering he's going up against a real bear by the name of Steve from Chase Family Racing. Wow, he hung with him. Heck of a job, but he ended up losing in the end. Winning the left lane for Chase Family Racing. What Steve probably didn't know when he called out that Mustang was this may be a local boy, but that doesn't mean he's inexperienced. He's actually been to Mile High and raced at Elevation Diecast Racing in a stock Hot Wheels versus Matchbox race. But he is actually a Matchbox. Put up a good fight, but didn't quite pull it off. That brings us back to a couple we've seen on the track already. We got Joe Tang in the green Nova calling out Dutch Vanderschiff of Dutch Clutch Racing in that nitty gritty kitty. Let's see what lane Dutch is going to get. Left lane. Old Dutch Vanderschiff, he's been pretty much living in this left lane, and I think pretty much the same for Joe Tang in the right. I think Dutch has been in that right lane yet between event number 1 and this event. Why fix it if it ain't broke? Dutch Vanderschiff in the left again. Takes out Joe Tang. That brings us to a late call out we got from Kirky G of D20 Diecast. Calling out Dad of Elevation. Seems to be a popular call out. Everybody wants a piece of that Holden Monaro. Well, let's see what lane Dad's gonna get. Right lane. Silver Mach 1 taking on a Silver Monaro. Let's see what Kirky G's got in the old tank there. There's one for Elevation. Winning the right lane. Dad from Elevation Diecast Racing. Maybe third time will be the charm for Joe Tang in that green Nova. Taking on Nitro Z in the Honda. Nitro Z drew the right lane, so that finally puts Joe Tang in the left lane. Maybe his fortunes will change. Close race in the beginning, but looks like he stretched it out. Joe Tang with the win over Nitro Z. Next up, we've got a 55 Chevy Gasser, an exhibition car sent in by Abnormal Speed Racing. And he called out Lou Sir of Kitterman Speed Shop. So this should be interesting. We actually got a local calling out one of the big boys. And he's not really a local. I'm just calling him that because he's not in the points competition. He's just here for fun and grudge and exhibition, but he's actually part of the Abnormal Speed Racing team. So, and he did draw the left lane. Well, that's a good looking gasser. Beautiful custom paint job called Moonshine Magic. Like the Gasser pulls that one off. It's not really the type of car we were running in this class, but hey, anytime you guys want to send some extra cars and see them run, you're more than welcome to. Anytime. And before we get to our last race, I just wanted to point out these were a couple more of the local stock eliminator guys that wanted to get a taste of some big tire outlaw action. So I had posted these up as guys you could call out, but nobody did. But maybe next time one of you guys will. And I know there's some other guys in the points race that did not race tonight because they did not make any call outs or nobody called them out. But hopefully you guys were able to find where I posted to do that. Maybe next time I'll try and find a better way to do that. So just let me know. Post me some comments on Redline Derby. Anyways, here's our last race. Once again, Elevation Diecast Racing being called out, this time by Steve from Chase Family Racing. This will be the last race of the night. It should be a doozy. And Dad draws the left lane. I think that might be the first time I've seen him in the left lane tonight. See how he can do from there. Taking on Chase Family Racing. Chase Family Racing with the win in the right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Some good grudge racing going on. A couple of you guys ran quite a few times. Hoping that maybe we'll get a little more trash talk going next time in the comments when you post up your grudges. But we had a lot of fun so far this time, and hopefully next time the rest of the guys will get involved. I'd like to see more call outs. If there's a better way I can post the notice, let me know. Until then, stand by for Saturday night racing.